Within the Ancient Egypt exhibit hall at Anniston Museum, inside a glass display case, swathed in linen wrappings and encased in painted cartonnage, rests a woman who lived more than 20 centuries ago. Her name was Tasherytpamenekh, which means simply the daughter of Pamenekh. She was probably a member of the Egyptian middle class, and she lived and died in the Ptolemaic era of Egyptian history, sometime between 332 and 30 BC. The story of her life, inasmuch as it is known to us, is written on the walls of the Ancient Egypt Hall. Since 1930, she and the larger unnamed mummy who lies beside her have been on almost continuous display in the museum, except for a brief time in 1978 and 1980 when the pair were x-rayed at a local hospital, then sent to New York for professional conservation work. Tasherytpamenekh's full body x-ray and a forensic sculptural likeness of her as she might have appeared in life sit outside the main room which houses her body. The original x-ray showed her condition to be quite good relative to that of her companion. It was for this reason that she was selected for a great opportunity in the summer of 2010. In early 2010, Anniston Museum was first approached by Dr. Robert Garner and representatives from Northeast Alabama Regional Medical Center, Tyler Center, who made an unprecedented offer. They would like to place one of our mummies in the hospital's newest cutting-edge CT scanner for a detailed full-body scan. This opportunity was made possible through a special partnership between Regional Medical Center and Philips Healthcare Corporation, the makers of the Philips Brilliant 64 scanner. Plans were made, preparations completed, and on the evening of August 18, 2010, history was made in Anniston as Tasherytpamenekh took a trip down the street, a short distance in miles, but a journey 2,300 years in the making. The museum closed its door an hour early on the evening of August 18th in order to begin preparations for the delicate process of moving the remains of the ancient woman. A team of trained staff members gathered around the display case containing the museum's pair of priceless mummies. Each staff member manned a powerful industrial-strength suction cup. The room fell to silence as the staff prepared to lift the heavy plexiglass case top, all working in unison.
1, 2, 3. Slow.
When the case was high enough, two staff members reached underneath, grasping hold of the special board upon which the body of Tasherytpamenekh rested. Very slowly and deliberately, they slid her free of the confines of her case, allowing the other staff members to lower the case top back into place and allowing the assembled observers to let out their collectively held breath. The board supporting Tasherytpamenekh's body was transferred to a specially designed stretcher for transport. Staff moved her gingerly to the opposite side of the Ancient Egypt Hall, allowing the press the rare opportunity to photograph her outside her case, while the staff members who were specially chosen to carry the body made their preparations for the long walk ahead. After a few moments of prep time, the four-man carrying crew prepared to lift the body again, taking great care to keep the stretcher level, to keep their footsteps measured and sure. The padded stretcher was equipped with wrist safety straps which assured the carriers maintained a secure hold as they made their slow, deliberate way from the Ancient Egypt Hall, down the zigzag hall through the museum lobby, past the media flash bulbs and video cameras, and out to the front doors to a hearse waiting on the museum's front sidewalk. K.L. Brown, whose funeral home donated the use of the vehicle, watched from the sidelines as the body was gently loaded into the rear of the hearse, and last-minute checks were done to assure the mummy's stability during the ride, ever mindful that she was not just a collections object but the remains of a real human being. The museum chose to move her body by hearse as a sign of respect. Travel by hearse, coupled with a police escort from the City of Anniston Police Department, also allowed for slower speeds and less chance of damaging vibration or movement of the body. Traffic was light on Quintard Avenue that evening, though the threat of rain hung over the city, but the hearse arrived without incident at the Tyler Center's back entrance, where the staff members removed her body, and once again carried her into the building, into the elevator to the second floor, and down the hall of the imaging department to the CT room, where she was placed on a gantry of the hospital's newest cutting-edge CT scanner, the Philips Brilliance 64. In a series of full-body rotating scans, the machine was able to capture images of her remains in incredible detail, unhindered by the centuries-old covering which have protected her throughout the ages.
Initially, the mummy was x-rayed using conventional radiographs, which is two-dimensional. Over the years, we've developed CT scanning, which is a thin pencil beam of x-rays, which is fed into a computer, reconstructed in a three-dimensional fashion. Over the years, as computers have progressed, so has our images have as well. And now, rather than taking one slice at a time, we take as many as 64 slices simultaneously. And this was the case with the mummy. We took 64 slices simultaneously. Over 8,000 images were taken from head to toe. And with new technology now, we can take that information, the raw data, and send it to anywhere in the world. Any expert can look at it and reconstruct the data however they want.
Media, museum, and hospital staff members sat restless as expectant parents in the CT waiting room as the technicians performed the meticulous scans. Finally, the doors opened and Dr. Robert Garner and CT PET supervisor Vincent Glanzy emerged smiling with the preliminary results. What modern technology found was a remarkably well-preserved and intact skeleton.
The mummy's bones were in excellent condition. She had a lot of calcium in her bone. There's very strong bones. There's no evidence of osteoporosis, very little evidence of aging, very little osteoporotic change, very little spurring present. She pretty much had all her teeth intact. I did not identify a lot in the way of caries and with cavities. So apparently she is a very young patient. Apparently she had a very good lifestyle. I would assume she was wealthy or in the upper middle class because there's no evidence that she had worked hard or labored during her life. There's not a lot of wear and tear on her joints and bones. That made me think she's young, fairly young, and lived a good lifestyle.
Museum and hospital staff were encouraged by the news and eager to see the final results of the scan. Immediately, the thousands and thousands of digital slices gathered in August's scan were sent away to the Philips Healthcare Lab in Cleveland, Ohio, where technicians painstakingly reassembled the data into viewable images. Her part in the evening now complete, Ta-SHER-eet-pa-MEN-eck was carefully picked up, transferred to her special stretcher, and the process of the night was played out in reverse as she once more made the trip home to the Anniston Museum's Ancient Egypt Hall. It would be nearly 2 months later, in October 2010, when Philips Healthcare would provide the resulting images to RMC Tyler Center. The opportunity to literally look inside a mummy is rare and not something many museums have the ability to do. But thanks to RMC Tyler Center and Philips Healthcare, Anniston Museum can now offer its visitors the chance to look beneath the wrappings. In these incredible motion images, a variety of startlingly detailed 3D views show the deepest layers of her body, from bone to tissue, the linen wrappings which cover her head to toe. Such a view of this ancient woman would be impossible through any other means short of literally unwrapping the body. In a full-body rotating loop, the entire skeleton is now viewable in 360 degrees. A layer upon layer view builds the entire body from the supporting board through the thickness of her body to the tip of her nose. A cutaway view, which rotates in 360 degrees, shows the outer coverings and linen bandages on one side and the interior cavities of the skull, sinus, mouth, and the other side. It's possible to see the actual location of the chin, jaw, and forehead in relation to the face represented on the cartonnage mask. Perhaps the most stunning images are the 85 individual frames that make up the motion video, which shows the layers of bone, remaining body tissues, and wrappings on the face of the mummy. Building from bone to wrapping, the images are breathtaking in their detail.
I was very pleased to be involved in this project. We thank RMC for the use of the facility and CT scanner. We thank the museum for providing the mummy. And we are excited about the results that we're going to see and hope to see our next patient, the next mummy, soon.
What science can determine from these new images is yet unknown, but the quality of the scan images combined with the fine condition of the skeleton allow for a greater potential of new information than we could have hoped. Perhaps in the near future, even more advanced scientific techniques will finally solve one of Anniston Museum's most enduring questions. However, the mystery of this woman's life and death remain unanswered as of now.